welcome to Weekends with Whitney. Coming up in this morning's show, meet the Gonzales native, actress, and now filmmaker who's raising our awareness one breath at a time.
It's just to be a conversation starter, and I feel like short films are a great venue for that because it says something and it says it quickly, and then it allows you the space to process that.
Then pull out your costumes and line the streets of downtown Baton Rouge. The biggest Halloween parade yet is ready to roll. Then Dr. Nick shares with us tiny habits that can change your life in big ways. But first, a female filmmaker whose new movie is moving people to conquer fear, overcome grief, and find hope in the hopeless. And she's doing it all without uttering a word. Shanna Forrestall has acted in more than 100 movies and television shows.
Down here in the South, we have a saying, marriage is like taking a hot bath. Once you get used to it, it's not so hot after all.
She worked with some of the best in the industry, like Morgan Freeman. But this Gonzales, Louisiana native fell into acting accidentally. After graduation, she took a marketing job in Canada. She moved back a few years later at a time when Louisiana's film industry was catching fire. Soon, she caught the acting bug. However, it wasn't because of the notoriety and glamour associated with the movie world. It was because of the world inside her it opened up.
I fell into the film industry, and it was in the film industry, it was in acting class that I came to grips with my own pain and started to realize how dysfunctional I was. And because of the pain that I'd been through, and I started to really seriously work on it, and then I started to see the levels of human experience.
In working through her own pain, she discovered true joy.
I've really suffered just about any kind of abuse you can imagine, from physical to mental to religious to, you name it, I've pretty much had it. One of my acting coaches literally saved my life. Jerry Katz, he saved my life because of the work we did in acting class. I started to realize that I wasn't being honest with myself. And when I started to be honest with myself, I realized I wasn't really loving myself. And I realized the reason that my life was the way that it was is because I wasn't protecting myself the way that I needed to. And I made major changes in my life and basically rescued myself because I all of a sudden learned that I didn't put the value on me that I had given to everybody else. I'd loved people all over the world. I'd worked with orphans in poor countries, AIDS orphans, and you name it, I'd done it. But I hadn't truly loved me. And if we don't truly love ourselves, then the love we put out is short.
She's now evolved in other ways too. She's gone from starring in movies to making them. She's one of the few female film producers. To date, she has 6 under her belt.
The first 3 were, oh Lord. but it was a process, and now I feel like I've developed a voice that I know how to say what it is I'm trying to say. And it makes me really happy, and especially to be a female filmmaker. You know, it's like there's a huge discrepancy in the ratio between men and women in the industry, and my crews for the last 3 films have been probably 60 to 80% women, depending on the project. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of giving women voices.
Most recently, she gives voice to grief and depression through her latest short film, Breathe. She premiered it Monday at Celtic Movie Studios with her Louisiana friends and colleagues who took her idea from page to a motion picture.
Things like this don't get made. They're passion projects, and they don't get made without support. And I was just really grateful to have friends, long-term friends, who just said, yeah, we're going to help you make this film. And we had an amazing time. We had a lot of challenges, but we had an amazing time making this film.
One of those challenges is this film has no words, no dialogue, no verbal script. This story is told through motion, emotion, and music. This was a first for executive producer Neil Wells.
The challenge is you have to tell the story through the music and through the editing and then through the acting. The actors really have to say what's going on because you don't have any dialogue to rely on.
For Shanna, getting the musical score perfect was key.
We had a beautiful composer from LA that I've worked with before. His name is Carlos Garza, score the film. And the music is the voice of the film.
Another challenge is time. Breathe is only 8 minutes long.
You have a lot to tell in a very short amount of time. So, but it's fun. I mean, it's challenging that way and has its own set of challenges as opposed to a big budget, hour and a half film. But short films are, to me, there seems to be much more passion.
Passion is what drove Shanna to do this movie. She's passionate about helping others find their way out of the dark places in their lives, a place she was in 2 years ago.
It was a desperate thing for me, at that time, and I wanted people in that place to not feel the way that I did and to reach out and to make sure that they were okay. I'm not okay with suicide. I'm not okay with people quitting and being so discouraged that they can't make it. And this film is about the fact that we don't have to quit. No matter how alone, no matter how dark, we don't have to quit. All you have to do is breathe. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. And I remember being in that space and just thinking, this should be normal to breathe. This should be natural, and it's not. I'm having to remind myself, Shanna, just breathe.
She breathes life into the complex, deeply personal world of grief. Like all good works of art, her film doesn't tell you what to think. It allows you to think. It doesn't give answers. You discover your own.
It was meant to be a piece that stirred our emotions, touched all of us because we've all had dark spaces, and then to give people a platform to just talk about it. I don't offer solutions in my films. I never have. I've never come with a film that says this is the answer to whatever I'm dealing with. But I've always tried to use them to just start conversation because I feel like if we can do that, if we can get people talking about the uncomfortable things and the painful things, then somehow in that human interaction, we'll find some answers, and they'll be personal and they'll be right for what we need.
The film in its own right is art therapy. Jennifer Awad knows the healing art in all forms can induce. She's an artist in real life and in the film.
Painting and using art sometimes is a great bridge to kind of bring the communication forward. So using film and incorporating the art is a great marriage, I guess.
Shanna says pain is universal. How we deal with ours and others changes everything.
That's what this film is about, is just encouraging people, whether you're in the dark space or you see someone else who is, to just help them breathe, just to keep going, just one more day, one more hour, one more minute. Sometimes it's about just getting through that minute, and then it'll get better, or something will get better.
Breathe will soon be shown around the country. It'll never be a moneymaker. But Shanna knew that going in.
And especially short films, they never make money. They're not meant to make money, they're meant to cost money. This film is not about money, it's about passion, it's about love, and it's about just hearing each other when we need to be heard. Life is always gonna have darkness. Somebody's always gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna, the flood's gonna happen.
Shanna's also helping flood victims breathe a little easier with her relief efforts. She lives in California now, but Gonzales will always be home. She's helping her hometown with a Let's Rock initiative to give sheetrock to those rebuilding. She's launched a Coats for Cajun donation drive.
That stylish coat that's been sitting in your closet could be just the thing to keep a Cajun warm this winter. Coats for Cajuns. Because every Cajun needs a coat, obviously.
And she's biting back against mosquitoes, giving away more than $50,000 in repellent to those flooded. she's pulled in companies and individuals across the country to help.
And doing whatever we can. That's what we all need to do, whatever we can. You know, we don't need to ask each other, I don't need you to do anything more than you can, but I need you to do what you can. Because there are people in this community that are hurting. And so that's all we ask. I'm happy to have found a place for a voice. And that's what I love about filmmaking is that, you know, I love hearing the voices of those that are forgotten and then amplifying that voice, even if it's my own. You know what I mean? Like I heard my own voice in that dark spot and I was like, how many other people have this voice or saying the things that I'm saying or feeling right now and nobody's hearing them?
To be heard, Shanna emphasizes, we first must breathe. For more about the films and their upcoming festivals and showings, go to their Facebook page. It's simply Breathe. And still to come, candy wishes and Halloween dreams. The big parade is set to roll Saturday. We'll show you why this year's Halloween celebration isn't just one day of fun, but 5. Then Dr. Nick tells us how some tiny changes can make a big difference in our lives as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
9-time winner of the prestigious Buick GMC Mark of Excellence Award.
In November, we will ask you to renew the operating and maintenance tax that funds BREC, your nationally recognized award-winning park system.
This renewal is vital to BREC's continuing success in our community.
It keeps the light on at all our ball fields.
And the water flowing at our splash pads. It keeps the trails clean.
And the boogie flowing.
Go to BREC.org and learn about all of the wonderful things we're doing. And don't forget to vote in November.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Halloween is now 8 days away, but the fun starts soon. The people who put on the Halloween parade have 5 days of fun set up, and there's something for everyone. We love a parade. This one ignites your inner Halloween spirit. You'll even see a few too. Parade founder Kelly Crisco-Stein says this year is extra spellbinding with the new Fee-Filet.
If you go back into Cajun folklore, there's a mystical and mischievous blue ball of flame in the swamp, and if you follow it, it will lead you to treasure. And so we want you to come to the Halloween festival and find your treasure.
The parade means kids won't have to go on a witch hunt for candy in the aftermath of the flood.
A lot of these neighborhoods are still just completely devastated, and these kids are not going to have a place to trick or treat. The Halloween parade is one of the only free events in town where kids can come and just get bombarded with candy from the floats and from the participants. So we really want the kids to come out dressed in costume and just go home with tons of candy.
For the first time ever, it's not one day of spectacular fun, it's a festival of 5. Ghouls rule with smashing fun when things kick off Thursday night with a live stage production like this one of the wildly popular Rocky Horror Picture Show at Theater Baton Rouge. It runs every night at 7 through Monday. Friday's fun starts downtown at 5, Zombified.
Friday we have the Halloween party at Live After 5. Then there is a zombie pub crawl after, which is lots of fun. And you can even get zombified at Live After 5 if you come by our little table.
Saturday morning, get your blood pumping with a pumpkin pie run.
It's 200 feet longer than a traditional 5K, which makes it 3.14 miles. So that's why we call it the pumpkin pie. And if you're really a tough pumpkin, then you can carry a pumpkin while you run the race.
Oh my. Family fun follows at 9 in Halloween Town, including Breck on the Go, pumpkin carving, and more. Then the Candy Wishes and Halloween Dreams Parade rolls at 2. But don't forget your canned goodies for the food bank, also hard hit by the flood.
So it is truly a harvest parade. Clean out your pantry, please, and bring it to the parade and give back.
Get back downtown Sunday for a big Halloween party on the Levee Green starting at 2. Then at 7, a special treat from the Baton Rouge Ballet Theater, Le Rare. Don't be frightened about your costume this Halloween. They have a magic spell for that too.
If you're worried about being able to get a costume for your child, contact us. We'll get you a costume, and then you can bring that child to the parade and they'll get tons of candy.
Carve out some time to brew up a good time. If you want more information on the 5 days of Halloween fun, go to beourhalloween.com. And still to come, developing new habits can be a lot easier than you think. Dr. Nick shows us some tiny ones that can make a big difference in your life after this.
The 1031 Consortium presents the 6th Annual Baton Rouge Halloween Parade, Saturday, October 29th in downtown Baton Rouge. Dress in costume and donate non-perishable food to the food bank truck as it leads the parade. October 27th through the 31st is the Fee-Filet Halloween Festival, and Halloween Parade is the main event. That's Saturday, October 29th at 2 p.m. in downtown Baton Rouge. More information and parade routes, visit feefiletHalloweenFestival.com.
There are tiny habits you can create to make a big difference in your life. Dr. Nick joins us this morning with more. Okay, I just love the tiny part. You know, it just makes it sound doable.
Well, Tiny Tim was this magnificent, larger-than-life figure. So tiny tips can be larger-than-life exercises.
Exercises. Oh, give me some. Give me some little habits that we can all incorporate into our lives.
Drink water in the morning.
Okay.
And some people say warm water
I do in my
lemon.
coffee.
Okay. I don't think that works.
I don't think that's
well, but you know, Whitney, yeah, we can talk about a lot of them, but a lot of them you'd know yourself. Eat fruits and vegetables.
Raw,
you know,
they
raw.
say, yeah, at every meal.
I'll always have some nuts with you, which I think is fascinating, although I don't do the nuts because of diverticulitis. But what kind of mood are you in today?
I'm so sorry, I don't know.
I carry bananas. And I think that's a good little tip. It's great energy food.
Just something so you don't have to grab the Snickers.
Right. But it's also energy. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm fading.
You're right.
I can eat a banana and then I can continue to listen to people.
Yeah.
Because I want to be present to them.
Right.
You know?
Well, you told me keep art supplies out on your desk.
Well, you know, I work at St. James Place, and a lot of the elders there are into coloring.
Aww.
And it made me start thinking, and then I read more and more that it's always good to have some kind of arty things near you to doodle or maybe to color. You know, Whitney, we all love it. Keep a box of crayons and just have a little, it's for no other reason than just to get your mind off of the moment and into another focus, which brings to mind another tip, which is very hard to do, and people will disagree with this.
Okay.
I think that we have to turn off everything to get things done. A lot of younger people will say, "Oh no, I'm framed for doing 5 or 6 or 7 things at once." I don't know that that's really true, and that could be wrong because I'm older. But I still like to focus. I like to focus.
Right.
I like to turn everything off and not do. And I'm reminded once of an archbishop that's once said to me that he spends an hour or 2 a day returning all his calls. He doesn't just return them as
they come in.
And I thought that was an interesting, because that again you're putting a block into I'm going to get these returns.
Right.
Because you know it's important to return calls in a timely manner.
Sure.
Which is another kind of nice tip.
It
People
is.
like that.
And while you have your colors out, sometimes you could just write a thank you note, even in crayons if you want to.
The whole thank you note.
The gratitude. Once a week, write a thank you note because somebody has done something for you that week.
And Whitney, it is worth that, what is it, 40-cent stamp and card for somebody to go and read something that's not an email.
Oh, right.
We are email driven to thank yous, just as we are to invites and everything. And again, I'm not knocking it. I know invitations can be costly, but a thank you note once a week or once every month even, or just a connection with an old friend or someone that you haven't talked to in a long time. You know, it said something about which I do, park far away.
Right.
We need to walk.
We need to walk.
Park far away. I'm on the 7th floor, so I don't particularly care to walk up the steps, but I do park far away.
If you did
I'll walk
those,
down. God, that would be something to consider.
you know, do it one day. Just do it, and let's talk about it one day.
I think that's a great idea.
7's a lot.
I'm going to do it when I'm wearing a T-shirt and jeans.
Okay, yeah, do it when you may not have to go meet with clients. Maybe just when you're working in the office day or something.
But it is something to think about because we're not moving. We're just not very mobile.
Well,
we're very stationary.
I think you'll appreciate this. So they did this big study about 10 years ago, and they said, okay, if you could only do one exercise, what's the best exercise in the world that you could do? You know, just one. It's climbing
stairs. I used to think it was swimming, but I remember reading that. It's climbing stairs.
And it's at your
climbing stairs.
It's at your feet every day. You also said that it's important to ask open-ended questions.
Open-ended questions.
Don't be looking for an answer.
Don't be looking for an answer because it opens the mind to new ideas. And it's non-threatening. It's very, you know,
that person's validated.
I'm open and I'm validated, and it's almost encouraging the other person to think instead of react. So it's a very powerful thing to do. It's also important, I think, at the end of the workday, to spend a few minutes wrapping up the day so that you can be done with it and not take it home with you. Just wrap up the day. Reflect on the day, a few things about it, or a few things that maybe got done, didn't get done. Not a big, heavy obsession, you know.
And you said something about writing down what's on your mind, or it's a different list.
There are many forms of journaling, but I really do like at the end of the day to write down, just to journal. And maybe things that bothered me, things that I'm grateful for, or things that I'm not looking forward to looking forward to, just whatever is flowing. And just write those down, and then it's kind of a way of coming out of the day, ending the day, but I like to say throw it away. It's that dumping. You're dumping the day. I don't mean it like dumping, but you know, it
doesn't have to
done.
swirl in your head as you're going to sleep.
It's done. And you know, we talk often about boundaries, and I think that's just another boundary. And that helps us look forward to tomorrow. And then the next day, you see what happens? And so every day becomes a value in and of itself. The first and the last becomes the first and the last.
I like it. Okay, well, I'm going to start tomorrow, and I'm going to have a glass of water with lemon to cleanse my system and get it
and then
going.
Your coffee.
And then my coffee.
And then your coffee.
Yeah. I mean, you can do a lot of these, but I'll probably just have to kind of take one at a time.
Yeah. What was the last one? Didn't we read somewhere about a bike?
Oh, yeah.
Keep a bike nearby?
Always keep your bicycle out. Doesn't mean you have to ride it, but you'll be more inclined to do it if you see it. And then if you do, then it does kind of take us back to childhood, just the fun, the wonderment, the exploring.
Oh, it does.
So
it
does.
Does.
I like that. Keep the bike out. Probably the same thing as keep your tennis shoes by the door. Put them on, go.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I'm just thinking of the last one, if I may, which I really think would be great. Put the television clicker away from the room.
Oh, right.
Then when you automatically want to go, you're thinking, okay, maybe I don't want to do that, and then you do something else.
Well, it's
just a real good tip, I think.
It is, and TV at nighttime is very disruptive to your sleep.
Anyway.
Especially if it stays on for a while, even if it's sleep timer, so yeah.
And seeing that time could be used in journaling.
True.
See, that's the journaling. Or a good book.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to sit down and read an entire
book.
book.
Well, we have to talk about one because I just finished one.
I know, is it the Hillbilly one?
The Hillbilly Elegy. We'll save that for another
Hillbilly
time.
Elegy.
Great read.
Okay.
That's a tiny tip, and it's not a hard read.
No. Great to see you as always.
Bye, everybody.
We'll have more coming up right after this. Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday with us here on Weekends with Whitney. We leave you with something exciting that flew in this week, a great white pelican, all by itself. Now, experts call that a scout. It leaves its pod and comes to check out areas to see if it's viable, if there's enough food for them to eat, and if they want to come stay a little bit longer as an entire group. So if he flies back to tell his friends, hey, let's go to the lakes, we will soon see hundreds, if not 1,000, great white pelicans right here along the LSU lakes. So we leave you with a look at that one pelican scouting out our area. Have a great week ahead.